Right, so episode 3 of On the Mat, myself and Taylor McCann. Don't really know how to do the intro. We've got the wonderful Jack Brown on with us, and less than an hour ago we've just found out he's brought on a special guest.
You know what, he's spent the last 3 days just asking me if he could come on, so I broke about an hour ago.
Oh really?
How are we?
I wasn't going to give him a little
All
lift
right.
home, so.
Alright, we've been at 2 open mats today already.
What
Good.
mats
Bit
is that?
knackered. Right, went to Likens for 10. Would be Joke, Johnny, and then Mark Connor's place has just recently opened up, so we rolled it with him.
No, good. How did you find that then?
Kelly, or both of them?
Both of them, like
Kelly was
obviously, because
the-
two different gyms, one being kind of brand new. Obviously he's used to training at Likens all the time, so how does it compare going from a gym you're constantly training at where you know what the level
I
is?
think I know I'm going to get it, Kelly, because Joke's like twice my age, half my size, and he's going to absolutely kick my cunt in. And I've just accepted that. It's just what happens. So that was the usual. It was good though. Max is really good. Aye. Nice people, good level.
I take it with his, it's a bit more youthful then, a lot more younger.
Max, it was a lot of girls, a lot of women in the mats. It was good.
All right, good. No, that's good then.
Sarah and Ellen and everybody for our gym went to support, so it was good.
How'd you find it, Ross?
Yeah, it was good. Just rolling with people I never rolled before with, so it's quite good, yeah.
How do you find that then, rolling with people you've never rolled before? Because I feel like for most people, it can be, no matter kind of what level you're at, it can be quite a, I don't want to say challenge performance wise, but like kind of nerves and stuff can kick in, and the whole.
Ross kept shouting help.
Oh really?
I did not.
Oh, really?
No, that's all right.
Right, something we ask everyone.
Every time I looked over, he looked like he was drowning.
Oh, right. Fighting for his life.
Something we ask everyone, I guess. Why do you train? Why did you start?
We'll start with
So,
Ross.
Jack, go first?
Ross is a bit shorter. We'll start with yours.
Rode lots of bikes a lot, and then I can't remember what I was doing, but I started watching MMA again, and I was like, oh, that's cool, but I don't want to get punched in the head. And then I somehow stumbled across Gary Tonin doing a flying cannabis AMA ADCC, and I was like, that's cool as fuck, so I'm going to do that. And then that's how.
I'm going to let her know what that is. Flying what?
Cannabis AMA.
What's that?
Kind of salami.
what even is
Just
that?
like, you know, the one where you're both standing and you kind of take you go a bit perpendicular, you've got an overhook, and you just launch yourself into the saddle.
Sure, mate. Sure.
If it's not double leg, I don't know what you're talking about.
It was cool. It was really
What a
cool.
perpendicular saddle.
Weirdly, my first class, it was with Jack, and I was also partnered with you, and it was on triangles.
Really?
Yeah.
Same man? That's quite nice.
No,
Nice
that
story.
is, mate, that's a cute one.
Also, they teach him very well.
I know, I don't do any triangles.
Ah, triangle.
Clearly not. What about you then, Jack? Obviously, what, 10 years now, black
13,
belt.
aye.
So
Yep, 10 years in January. I started a couple of reasons. I knew I was joining the police, so my dad said I needed a martial art for that. And I get battered outside a nightclub as well. Really bad. I was absolutely steaming. And I get cracked and I dropped my phone and smashed my phone to bits. I tried to kind of go back at him, but I was really steaming. The bouncer split it up and went, mate, you can't fight, don't just leave it. And I was like, okay. And then it was like £100 to get my phone fixed. So I was raging about that. And like, initially I thought, like, I'll go and learn a wee bit and I'll come back, I'll find that guy and paste him. But then like you go into jiu-jitsu and you realise how bad you are at fighting. So I never want to fight anyone ever.
How does it look now compared to when you started?
Likens.
Just sort of jiu-jitsu, somebody who's getting involved in it. What do you think the difference in the journey is for somebody just starting to when you've done
so
it?
different. Like I think jiu-jitsu guys in general are so much better at coaching now. The Dan had DVDs have all really helped. We all speak Japanese now. I just so much better. I think like when we started, it was only like very small amount of guys were looking at instructional stuff or even watching matches. Like I think like the most you would do when I started is maybe like watch the UFC at the weekend. That was where you get your jiu-jitsu from. And Likens was an MMA gym when I started, so it was all MMA based. So different now. Like guys that have been training a year now would beat the shit out of me training 5-6 years. Yeah, I mean the level's ridiculous now. So it's nice. It's only going up. It's good.
No, that's good. Back to kind of your start. I remember you telling us a story one time. when you joined jiu-jitsu, you thought it was like karate or something like that?
I just thought we'd be knocking lumps at each other. It was like likens MMA, and like if you googled a couple of the top guys in there, like we had like Sean Taylor back in the day, we had Ferret, Ian Postlethwaite, the Black Brothers. Like these guys were doing pretty well in local MMA scene, so I'm watching them beat the fuck out of guys. And I'm like, I'll do that. And then I go in and I've got my football socks over my gi. Got a shaved head at the time, so I got a shaved head now, I suppose. And I goes in and I'm standing up in close guard, going back down. And I'm looking about for the hard cunts. And it's just me and a bunch of dafties. I've no idea why I went back.
Oh, really?
But I'm glad I did, obviously. But like that was like the worst first class possible, probably.
So was that kind of a thing then? Because I know that like times have kind of changed now when it comes to jiu-jitsu. Like back then was, and if we say back then as if it was ages ago, but is that kind of how it was? Where jiu-jitsu guys looked at as kind of dafties in comparison to your MMA guys?
Oh, a wee bit like that, isn't it?
That's what I mean. But I feel like there's a bit more respect, I think, towards jiu-jitsu now because of guys obviously like Gordon Ryan and stuff that are obviously showing that it can be a bit more than just two guys kind of humping on the floor.
We're also, jiu-jitsu guys in general are getting a wee bit more well-rounded now, which is good. Like we are all starting to learn a wee bit of wrestling. When I started, you would kind of choose early on, I'm going to be a guard player all the time, or I'm going to be a wrestler, a top guy all the time. And now it's like, if you're going to do even local comps, you have to know a wee bit of both.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So maybe we're getting a wee bit more respect that way. We are still dafties, like compared to we're too scared to get punched in the face, aren't we?
No, but I think that's one of the really good things about jiu-jitsu, but that everyone is like a dafty, you know, like it's not often that you find people that take it too serious, you know. It's
they
like
don't last. That's how.
It's like I feel like you have to have some sort of like a different kind of screw loose, you know, compared to like the MMA guys where they've got a screw loose in the sense that they just want to scrap everybody and they're up for getting punched in the face.
I mean, you have to get battered off a 14-year-old boy wearing lycra and then like have enough about you to come back and try again. I know. See, if you're a pure dick, you're just gonna be like, oh fuck that. I'll go take boxing. I could have punched that wee boy. Yeah.
It's kind of it's like, would you think, Ross? Do you think it's like an ego thing then with jiu-jitsu, where it's like the ego has to be dropped a lot more in comparison to maybe striking sports, for example? Do you think there has to be a little change in your ego? Like Jackson, obviously there is like 14-year-olds, especially like with Andrew from Grip House, that is just phenomenal, you know, and they can beat adults. It's just obviously they're not allowed to compete against them yet. Do you think can a change of egos is required if you want to do well in jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, I think you have to get used to just getting barred all the time. Like trying to get getting barred all the time out the way as quick as possible is like the best way to go, because it sucks. It's terrible.
No, because I've thought that as well. It's like I feel like once you get comfortable, especially in training, like getting battered, and you realise that no one gives a shit. You know, I've found personally that sometimes there's times even in training where, you know, I'm 50-50 on whether I'm fine being, you know, fine losing, and there's other times that you might lose to someone in training, and it's, I say lose because obviously the whole win in training, losing training shouldn't really apply, but you start putting your A game on and you're fucking trying to win training. Do you ever find that like that's maybe where people go wrong, as they can't quite get themselves out of that hole as far as trying to win or lose training?
It depends, because you've got three types of training, or three types of rolling. You've got your rolling for fun, which is just closing the name. You're just trying to win, have a laugh, do whatever, go for Ezekiel's, all the fun stuff, right? You've got competition training where you're like actively trying your very best to win. You don't care if you're just spamming your favourite move, because that's probably what you would do in competition anyway. You're counting points, you're checking the timer, you might even have a coach helping you out on the side of the mat. So that's competition style training. And then you've got skill development training, which is where you will get battered constantly, because you're intentionally working something that you feel you need to improve at, so that means you're probably shy at it.
Nice.
So like if I go in against you, if it's competition training, I'm ripping your leg after. You know what I mean?
No.
But if it was skill development training and I've said to myself, I really want to get good at the Russian tie, how shite are my rolls going to be against you? But I still need to do it, because I'll never have a half decent Russian tie. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So it just depends what mode.
Question for both of you. Jack's obviously more experience, but Ross, you've progressed a lot, man, for how long you've been training. What do you find the best? Jack's making a face, but
This is literally the cut in his eye. That was me.
Can't get a question out, man.
That was me. It's the only reason. So you better watch it.
The only reason you've been brought in is just to fucking
Right, I was
destroy you.
Aye, so for you, it's probably maybe different. What do you think's the best way that you have found for you to progress in terms of like how much should you roll, how much should you drill, how much should you watch instructionals, how much should you compete? You know what I mean?
You go first.
I don't know if it's different for everybody. I think there actually is a one size fits all type thing.
Like easy answer is as much as you can. Like if you,
I mean, like if it was a percentage, like how would you split them up basically? No, I'm not looking for an exact number,
Yeah, I
but
don't know.
what would you put most of the focus on?
I think it would depend also, it's up here, I'm avoiding the question here, but it would depend like what stage you're at in terms of,
Right.
if you've got a competition next week, don't start skill development training. It's
Aye.
going to be a nightmare. You're going to do stuff you're rubbish at, your confidence is going to take a hit.
Mhm.
So if you've got competitions actively coming up, I would just be going hard as I can. Competition training, counting points, or like going by the rule set of that competition. If I have nothing coming up, I'm straight into skill development, and I usually just go and like Lachlan Giles as submeta, pick a course that I really want to get good at and just do that. And I'll usually do it like, if I'm really shite at it, I just don't understand it, I pick the worst guy in the room and I try and hit it on him.
Cheers, mate.
He's just looking at me the whole time. And then like once I can hit it on him kind of as many times as I like, I'll maybe try a blue belt and I'll kind of work it up until one day I'll work up the courage to go, Marcus, I've got this move I'm trying, and then it won't work on him. And then I'll agree, and that'll be the end of that move. What was your question, mate?
Basically, it's just kind of how
percentage?
I'm not like,
How do you
how you
split up
split it up,
training?
basically?
How do you split
Yeah.
up training?
I think like if your goal is just to be the best competitor you can be, you've got to minimise your fun training, I think.
Right.
Not minimise it, but just not as much as everyone else does. Most people do 100% fun training, and you understand that because they've got jobs and kids and stuff like that. You have to really up your skill development, off season, and like really up your competition training on season, I would say.
What about yourself, Ross?
Mm,
Same answer.
yeah, there is like different types of training. Like there's comp training and there's like skill development training. But I think the skill development one you can also do like I think positional sparring like works a lot. Like not like someone's got your back and they're gonna try and like choke you out as hard as they possibly can. More just like I've been doing a lot of headquarters recently. Like I'll be like sitting someone's headquarters and be like, does this feel right? Does this feel right? How does this feel? How does the pressure feel? Like keep making adjustments until it's like, right, this is how it probably should feel. And then just going through like all the different stages. So you kind of like map out the whole position. And then you're like, right, I'll start trying this and rolling. So yeah, stuff like that I think helps a lot. You can kind of just, I don't know, like get really good at that one bit without any pressure of like someone thinking, like in that way, like you don't really agree beforehand with the role, like, oh, this is me just working a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just roll with a person and you can start to try working things, but they also might be training for a comp, so they might try and like kill you. And you're like, no, please, I just wanted to do one thing.
Did you guys this was actually a question I was going to ask Jack, but obviously it applies for you and all. Did you just make like a conscious decision to say I'm going to get really shit hot at leg locks, or did you just like kind of find I'm getting pretty good at these, man, and then just focus a lot on it?
I was like, I'm not good now, but I was the worst white belt of all time. I don't think I scored a point in white belt competition. I don't think I did many. I did like 3, but I lost every single time first round. I was so bad. And then I done a footlock one day, and like immediately I tapped a purple belt, and I was easy. Don't have to pass card. So that just led me down that path, and then just around that time, I think roughly 2016, 2017, just when I was kind of like mid blue belt, the first Danaher leg lock DVD came out, and it was at the same time that Eddie Cummins was making a big splash, and Gary Tonin and people like that. It was just people were just so far behind with leg locks, like apart from the Danaher guys, obviously. Kind of got to the point where you could do a leg lock like 80% wrong and still tap guys. You know what I mean? And it wasn't like, it was just because they didn't know what was happening. Like they would just feel their leg being painful and just tap. Because they don't want something bad to happen. I think that's kind of what got me started, was like, I thought my leg locks were really good, but in reality it was just the defense was so poor at the time that everyone was tapping, even though my leg locks were actually pretty shocking. So I'm like, immediately, like I won my first gold at blue belt. I think it was like a local ADCC comp somewhere. And I was like, oh, that worked. So I just started doing it over and over
Nice.
until today.
What about you, Ross? Because obviously a lot of your training was kind of coached under Jack, especially those kind of like Wednesday night classes and stuff before obviously he'd left for his travelling.
Had to flee the country.
Aye. But did you find that obviously kind of almost like working under Jack as far as leg locks, that's what got you into them, seeing kind of his success using them? Obviously you were saying as well watching Gary Tonin hit fucking flying,
I think
whatever you call it, and
Decent salamis.
aye, and that horse riding saddle. Do you think that's what maybe?
it was a lot of, it's basically the first thing I saw of jiu-jitsu was a leg lock. So I was like, oh, this is cool as fuck. So I think it was just the fact I thought they were really cool, which made me like start doing them. And then when I started at Marcus's, that's when I really like found out that Jack was a leg locker. So then I started like harassing him with lots of questions about how to get okay at them. I wouldn't say I'm a leg locker now though, to be honest. Like I'd say I'm a guard player because I'm not actually that good at leg locks in reality. So like I can sweep people and stuff like that, and I can pass, but I can't. I'm not Lachlan Giles. Do you know what I mean? So, but it makes sense if you play guard. Like you should get good at leg locks because it's the closest thing you can reach. It like makes sense to play into that. But
did you find kind of like Jack was saying there that it was maybe when you're saying they're not being good at leg locks, that a lot of it was people tapping to pain or lack of knowledge? Because I know that I've been caught in a few and I've tapped without any idea.
Yeah.
And I saw, it was either today or yesterday, J-Rod talking about how you shouldn't tap to pain. You should only tap if you're getting choked out or something's gonna break. Because I remember like my first training session, I think it was the same training session, I'm sure, that I get kicked in the dick.
It's my special move.
So I walk in, see Jack, give him a wave, get kicked in the dick, and then I'm pretty sure I went up against.
Did you get to roll before you get kicked? Or did that off the mat?
That's just how I say hello.
But it was, I think it was like my first roll with Aidan Balfour, and he caught me in a heel hook, and I just kind of looked at him.
First class.
I think so. And he was like,
he's a bastard.
And he looked at me and he's like, you're in a bad position here. And I was like, well, fucking, am I? I was like, how the fuck?
Just doubled in, mate. No, I'm not.
Do you know what I mean? I was like, see that way? I was like,
you're in a bad position.
See that way? I was like, how the fuck am I, mate? How the fuck am I, mate? And then you find out that you're not even allowed to do them at like white, blue belt and all that. And you're like, why is everyone at Marcos is catching me in these fucking illegal techniques? Genuinely, that's how they're fucking. And that's the thing, but it's like everyone's like, oh, where'd you learn that? It's like, oh, Jack. And I'm like, what belt's Jack? Black belt. And I'm like, so why the fuck is everyone?
Why are you doing that?
I was like, why is everyone fucking doing these moves? Even like you fucking, and everyone still does it now.
You need to know them though, because like if you do get to that point, like you don't want to be behind.
Yeah. Do you think that that's kind of the case then, that you should be trying to learn not necessarily all the kind of more advanced techniques, but if you feel you're going to be in this for the long run, that it helps to know each kind of, I guess, level of the game? Because there's obviously lower level leg locks, and then there's fucking obviously
I'm just keen, like, for me, if I'm coaching, I want everyone to learn everything as fast as they can. But I don't really set, obviously you have to be careful with heel hooks, but they're not that bad. As long as you're not daft about them, they're okay. So I'm quite happy for everyone to do everything off the bat, and the reason for that is, if you say to yourself, right, I'm just going to do like the basics until purple belt, and then I'll start learning heel hooks. If you do that, and my students have been doing heel hooks since white belt, they're going to absolutely destroy that purple belt. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
So I wouldn't just say for heel hooks. I'm happy for people to do everything just for the get go, and just as long as we have the chat that, you know, safety, and like if I'm taking a class, I don't like guys like finishing submissions full stop. Like if they've got an armbar, it's better just to hold that armbar and like count to 3 or count to 10 in their head. If the guy can get out, then you've got something wrong with your armbars. You don't have to rip the armbar to find that out. So, I mean, you can hold it, see what he does. If he kind of goes left, goes right, and goes, oh, I'm stuck, congrats, your armbar's great. Do you know what I mean? But if you actually hold it, you'll find out where your weakness is, because you'll get it, and you can get feedback after that roll. How is it you get out there? Why were you able to get out? Oh, because my left leg was in the right spot. Do you know what I mean? You've learned something.
No,
so I would do like the same thing for heel hooks, which it sounds like that's what Aidan did, to be fair. So that's not too bad. But I would just like put that heel hook in and just be very careful. As long as you're aware that like if they do a spin the wrong way, you have to let go. I would get everyone doing everything from the get go. Not like heel hooks first class, but like I wouldn't wait till purple or brown belt before introducing them to a heel hook, because by that point everyone else is already miles ahead of you.
Aye. Obviously for you, I feel like for you, Ross, like a lot of your game in the gym, obviously, it's changed now, like you say, but a lot of your game in the gym was mostly heel hooks.
I don't know why I was terrible at it.
Well, that's kind of why I was asking.
So bad.
That's kind of why I was asking Jack that though, because do you feel that maybe spending a lot of time on those kind of advanced techniques that legally you can't do yet, do you find that that's maybe took away some, I guess, potential progress you could have made in other areas of your game?
Not quite, no, because I'm gonna have to know them at some point, and like I'm aware enough that I know how to like change certain parts. Like I have like a game that I will do for like an IBJJF legal comp. Like I know that like I can't like lock people in that. It doesn't make sense to like jump on someone's ankle and give up on position and stuff like that. So I think it just helps in roles, because like if you roll with someone higher belt, if you're not going to say like, oh, don't heel hook me, because you just sound like a loser. So
Yeah.
you like have to learn these things. And I think if you can like if you know the mechanics of a heel hook, you're like pretty aware of like, right, I might not get broken, so I'll try and escape this, and then it just makes the roll go on a bit longer with someone that's higher level than you, so you can basically just like learn a bit more, I think.
Aye. No, I agree with that, because I feel like
or you can laugh at them because they didn't heel hook you, and they're better than you.
We have common sense as well. Like if Ross has IBJJF coming up in 2 months, or let's say a month, and I just see him heel hooking everyone, I'm obviously going to go over and be like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's a bit daft.
Yeah,
we'll not be doing that.
If you're doing competition phase training, then you're doing the same style of roll that you're going to be doing at your comp. You know what I mean, so if he's diving on heel hooks, that's wasted training for that comp, at least. You know,
that's kind of how I see it.
so
Like when
use common sense. Yeah,
comes to like near like November time for the opens and like Euros, there'll be no heel hooks. There'll be lots and lots of sweeps. So.
What would you say to somebody walking into the gym for the first time? Don't say leave the ego at the door. Everybody says that. Something else.
Say what?
Don't say leave the ego at the door. Everybody says that.
show his spec.
Someone that's coming into the gym for the first time.
Very sharp.
Could be as simple as cut your fucking nails.
Cut your nails?
Aye.
I don't know. Don't look at me in the eye.
You sound like
Throw it out
Don't even call my name.
Aye.
Or no pals.
don't even. God, man.
Literal answer, I usually just say that's the changing room, mate. Jump
find
on.
I don't know. It's hard because I was like very aware that I was going to get my cunt kicked in straight away. So I was like,
It's because of the size of me.
that's just not true. There's a photo that was taken today and I look huge and he looks very small.
You're standing in front of me, and I'm.
You were on your toes. What are you
I was
talking
on my
about?
tiptoes.
Out angle, the Ninja Turtle feet.
He's
man.
standing like 4 feet in front of me.
The Ninja
And
Turtle.
I'm just
It's all
sitting
about
like that.
angles and lighting. That's all that
Do you know,
matters.
throughout this conversation, I've just been like, I'm so buzzing to ask these questions at the end. The ones that I've not anything to do with talking about, man. It's just got to be some laugh, man, to get answers out of you.
I'm going to try and break
That's
Ross by the end of this
what's-
podcast.
I'm already broken.
He was broken. He was broken the first day I asked him to do this.
Last Saturday was the most broken I've ever been. And it was terrible.
What was that?
I just had a terrible day.
Yeah.
I think Sharpie actually told someone, like, don't make fun of him.
Just
he was,
yourself?
He was in a bad state yesterday. Not this Saturday, last Saturday.
that-
Last Saturday, I was like, I had a shocker. So,
Was that from training?
yeah, it was just a terrible week. And
Terrible
training
week.
went terribly, work went terribly. So,
Aye.
like, when it came to Saturday, and I was like, oh no. Like,
Do you find that the work to training life balance when you're trying to be obviously a full-time job, but almost like as full-time athlete competitor as you can be, do you feel that they clash a lot? Because I find that like there's times that I get shifts off work. Like Thursday there I did like 4 or 5 training sessions in the one day, and that's fucking stupid and no one should.
But your job's to get so many.
No, but
Brilliant.
I just but that's,
You landed a dream job.
that's
But
why
that's-
you're on the juice, though.
That's a
what you
huge
do that for.
allegation.
that's a very huge allegation.
Get like breaking news across the camera.
That's definitely getting cut, man.
Clip that. No, but like, so I did like 4 or 5 sessions on Thursday, and like, see, just that way that I was fucked, and I just know that I might not get as many, you know, the one a day or the maybe 2 a day, So I'm like, we'll throw four or five in one day and fucking. But do you ever find that he's like?
Do you find that like when you're grappling, the needle hanging at your ass kind of holds you back?
I hate it when my plasters fall off.
No, but I just mean like I find that like because like you were saying earlier about training as much as like you can, but I feel like there's training as much as you can, and then there's training as much as you can while recovering. Because I feel like some people just push through fucking injuries, and it's like, yeah, that's cool for like a year, but where will you be in 3 years' time, 5 years' time? Will you be able to function? Because you always see it in guys in the gi, for example, they've got like fucked fingers and they just like fight through having absolutely destroyed fingers.
There's a lesson in that.
What?
There's a lesson.
Well, don't do the gi. Make the gi is fucking great. Make the gi great again, man. You heard it here first.
Less washing, less pain.
What?
I had my gi on yesterday.
Oh, here, I had my gi on Friday. See if you could use the gi, like do the gi with no grips, mate. It'd be fucking brilliant.
That's true.
I'm a Euros.
What?
I kind of like it, but it's just you can't do both.
You
so.
started in the gi. Come on, you were.
That's because I was like too scared
first
to like
takedown-
do no gi in the gi.
the one and only takedown you've ever gotten me was in the fucking gi, and you launched me in my head.
It was that stupid sacrificial one.
That was brilliant.
I
man.
saw a video of some boy
Brilliant.
doing that.
Spiked right my fucking
some
dome.
judos.
Aye.
Yeah, I saw some boy doing that at the Brazilians, a blue belt in the absolute, and I was like, I've done that, but he done it like 3 times in a row and eventually got it. So it kind of works.
Will I ever see you in the gi again?
At grading day, and that's it.
I know, man. You just got your
I'm
blue.
not-
Surely,
but
surely,
the
fuck
thing-
you're firing the gi on to wear that.
I've not opened it yet. I don't want to open it.
That is terrible behaviour.
That's terrible.
I feel like giving it back to Marcus is kind of like
You
a
didn't,
bit
even
rude, I
let,
think.
you didn't even let him tie it round you. That's fucking.
Why
That's,
would it? He knew that's not.
that's blasphemy.
I also feel bad saying I'm a blue belt because I'm really not. Like, I can't
No, you're a no gi blue belt. We'll go with that. We'll go with that.
A blood ashy.
I get such a hard time for not wearing the gi, but I put the gi on quite a lot.
yeah, you do.
I don't have
really
really,
don't. That's a different. Yeah.
I don't really have much desire to compete in it. I competed once at black belt and I got gold,
And
so
you
that's
got gold.
100% win record.
Exactly. That's
Retire now.
because I've seen some old videos of you at like purple belt in the gi, and it's like, where was that change for you, right? Because I know that Ross had his, and obviously I'll ask him about that. Where was the change where you were like competing in the gi was cool, let's say, to the point that you were like, fuck the gi, like no gi's where it's at. I'm
See, to be honest,
going full time no
I would
gi.
get rid of the gi a lot sooner, but see, like when you're doing local competitions, it's like an extra £5 to chuck the gi on. And I'm notoriously bad for having like a shocking first round. My first match is always a shocker. I can't help it. I think I don't, probably because I don't warm up properly, to be honest. But a lot of the time, like going out in the gi, and then like even if I don't win, I've got that shocking match out the way. And if I lose, I'm already pissed off,
Aye.
and that makes me better at no gi. So if I don't know, see if it was like 50 quid each for gi no gi, I would have chucked the gi so much
Aye.
quicker. But it's an extra £5 in it.
I know it's true. 'Cause it's the same with like grappling industries. They give you basically buy one get one free. So you may as well.
See, why
You
would
may,
you do
may
it?
as well do it again and get fucking leathered.
Even
in.
if you've never done gi before, just do it. Just do your no gi game with the jammies on.
But that's
For
it.
£5.
Aye, I know. I'm at that point where I'm like, I'll do the gi in every other place but Scotland. I'm not allowing anyone to fucking dominate me in the gi in Scotland. Fucking and everyone watch it. I'll do it
But
where
it
no
was,
one can see.
It was definitely a gradual process, I think, doing in Kelly Likens before I went up to Marcus's. Just a gradual process. I think just the more we watched, like Flow was starting to get really big. Just all the shows were no gi, Gordon Ryan, Craig Johns, all these guys. No interest in putting the gi on, so that just kind of led to us having no interest in putting the gi on. But I don't even dislike the gi. I usually have competitions coming up and they're on no gi, so it makes sense to not wear the gi.
No, it definitely does. I've seen heard from a few people that like doing like a gi session once a week is kind of like a standard thing for even for like no gi guys. It's like getting just one little bit of gi in can help. What do you find there's any transition from gi to no gi or vice versa?
I just think like, so say like your gi class at your gym is Tuesday, it's much better to go to that gi class than to sit in the house.
Yeah.
I think there's that going for it.
What do you think, Ross?
Or you ask one of your pals to turn up and you just do no gi in the corner.
Just give us a shout.
then you get one opponent, no, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's fine.
I don't know how much crossover there is. I don't think like, I know like the old kind of Brazilian adage was you've got to train the gi to get good at no gi. That's nonsense. But and if you look at like all the ADCC winners, make sure I don't fuck this up, but I think most of the ADCC winners this year, apart from Gordon obviously, they've all got the gi on quite a lot.
Mm.
So I don't think you can say gi's going to always help your nogi game, but you also can't say it'll make you shit at nogi.
Yeah.
Because pretty much everyone except Gordon who won a gold medal, I think, apart from, in fact, Giancarlo, Giancarlo only does with the gi. They're in the gis, so also doesn't hold you back.
Well, it's like with Merigali, he was only 6 months in nogi. Obviously that could be down to the fact that he's a high level fucking black belt as is, but it could also be down to Danaher. But obviously with only 6 months in nogi, there must be some sort of transfer.
He was quite good before.
He may have won a few worlds or not.
That's what I mean. Though obviously, like for the average person, I don't mean you're going to fucking do like well in the gi and then all of a sudden smash everyone in nogi.
Yeah.
But could you find that though, that like some guys will get gold in gi and then they'll get absolutely leathered in nogi, or it's like vice versa? Like if I stepped into the gi, I'm probably going to get fucking humped. You know what I mean? Choked with my own belt and treated like an absolute.
I don't know. If you've got a good top game in the gi, you've got a good top game in no game. Like,
do you think?
You can still shoot a double.
I watch like quite a lot of the world's gi matches just because the passing is like quite applicable. I would say, like Fabricio Andre and his passing's fucking mint. And like Souza, he does the gi as well, and his he got second at ADCC, so it's kind of like, you know, like Jack said, yeah, like everyone that's at the top. And like they did well at ADCC, a lot of them do gi as well.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think I've got time for it, to be honest. I also don't like doing that much watching.
So this is like purely anecdotal. I don't know if people agree with this, but I find the gi a lot more cardio intense. I feel like way more knackered. It's probably because I'm on Arujo.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I don't know.
Arujo and Marcus is usually my gi round, so maybe that's why. But like, I usually feel fucked after a gi session.
Aye. I think it's obviously when it comes to training nogi and like even just like as simple as like the gym, for example, like I feel like when it comes to grappling, you're using your body weight. So not only are you moving yourself, but you're moving obviously another person. But I find like in the gi, there's the constant fucking battle of like tension, and it's like, and that's where it's like they might be pulling you with a force of like fucking 100 kilo or something like that down, and you now need to basically deadlift yourself and that person just to fucking break a grip, while obviously trying to move about and make sure. So it definitely makes sense. Do you find that, I know the big one as far as gi, where if you're successful in escaping in the gi, there's a high chance that you'd be good at escaping in no gi. That's one that I've heard a lot.
So. Less friction.
Yeah, so it's like passing and stuff's a little bit different because you obviously get grips.
No, he's just adding lib.
I think do you find that's, well, I'll ask you, Jack, like, do you find that can be an issue then with nogi, like the fucking slipperiness of it? And
I don't even think it's that a bad thing in nogi. I think it's much more fun to watch. But yeah, you can just go for it in nogi and just slip out of things, like not even necessarily like good technique. You can just explode a lot easier in the gi. Yesterday, Marcus had me in north-south holding both my lapels. I could not move. It was the worst thing ever. And he was like saying to me, move, and I was like, can he? He's fucking pinning me via my lapels onto the floor. So I just kind of lay there.
Do you think that like nogi is catching up is with gi as far as like technicality goes? Because I feel like that's the main key point for, I guess, pro gi guys, is the no gi's easy in comparison to gi. There's not as much. There's not as much like technique in no gi. You can slip out of things. You can, like for example, you could come in and be like a decent level wrestler and dominate people. Whereas if you done that in the gi, it wouldn't happen.
I think you could dominate guys in the gi.
Like,
top game's the same.
Is
it?
Think about what happens if you can, like, I don't know, if you like took like a collar tie and like actually grab someone's collar, you're strong enough you could just like rip them right past them. Like, yeah. North-south passing's the same, I think.
Nah, I don't think he's more technical at all. I think like just different. As soon as you add in lapels and grips, it's going to be different. But because especially because we like when I first got my blue and purple belt, I could just do leg locks and that was it. That was easy. I've got to wrestle now and fucking wrestle up and do a bit of judo now and stuff. So there's like a lot to no-gi, I think. I don't think gi's more technical at all.
I think it's just different. I think one of the things that also I don't do gi is because if I wanted to do gi, I would want to do it the same way I do no-gi and do daft things like guard and squid guard and all that stupid shit. So Like I would want to do it the same way, and I can't really. I don't think there's enough time in the day for me to do both the same way. Like I want to be good at one. I can't be good at both. I'd get annoyed, and I'd probably quit because I'd be so annoyed.
I've got the same kind of look at it as you do, man.
Yeah, you can't get.
Viewpoint, I like it.
It's like it's tough because if you want to be good at something, it helps to put 100% into.
What's going on here, man?
Are you okay?
What is this arm? Why would you do that?
Because I'm holding the legs.
You're
So
joking.
He's not done enough gay grips. That's
Oh
what it is.
my god, that is
that's
terrible.
good. That's
That is shocking, mate. That is
lifting it into my mouth.
So we could talk about the police or the police for a wee bit. I'm going to just really briefly because we've got rushed.
Well,
no, it's good you say that because obviously at the very beginning you mentioned your dad said you need a martial art. Is that something that is looked at, and are you given maybe better chances if you have a background in martial arts or fighting or self-defence?
Took the words right out my mouth, Taylor.
Got you,
So
mate.
like,
Got you.
what do you mean, like career opportunities? Do you mean that?
Well, it's just like you obviously if there's two candidates, you know, and let's say on paper yous are fucking both phenomenal, but there's just one little bit where it says, do you have martial arts experience,
Do you
right?
pull guard?
Can you fucking grab a collar,
Can you
right?
demonstrate a
Can you grab a collar?
Aye, can you grab a collar?
Can I
You
make
know
this a
what
two-part question or
I
not?
forgot junkies wore geese out in the street.
well, exactly, you go here. It's more realistic,
Can you say that? Can I?
Aye,
I'm sorry. I'm so
Alleged
sorry.
junkies.
You most,
Alleged
you most
junkies.
definitely can. You definitely can. But do you think that it would give better opportunity so that if there's anyone out there that's maybe
definitely.
interested in the police and maybe interested in martial arts, they should be looking
definitely
to
mention it if you do it, 100%. Like I went from an interview and really nice guy who was interviewing me, and I'd listed like I had like my degree, I had my job in a call centre, and I had jiu-jitsu. That was my 3 selling points that I was talking about, right?
Why is
I just realised he's got as soon as that's a really nice guy who's interviewing me. I was just expecting him to be a pure cunt, man. I thought he was going to go somewhere.
I really love
Fair
that.
enough.
He's been an older guy.
He's been very. He has to say this.
Just before you continue, I've got a follow-up question, which is, should it be a requirement? So answer that as well.
Okay, so I did an interview. Those are my 3 talking points. I'm trying to mix them all together and talk about them all individually. And I talk about jiu-jitsu for a bit, and the guy's like, "Oh, that's brilliant, son. That's excellent. He's loving it, right?" So I'm like, "Aye, that's right. I'm a blue belt. That's right." And then I was a white belt, maybe not a white belt. And then he brought up another question. I was like, "Oh, this relates really nicely into my call centre job, so I'm going to talk about that just now, right?" So I'm sitting talking about a call centre job, and I just hear, and I'm like, "You alright?" He's like, "Aye, I continue." I was like, "Are you not enjoying this call centre chat?" And he's like, "No, it's shite."
Oh my god, man.
So I was like, "Do you want me to talk more about my jiu-jitsu?" He's like, "I do that." So I don't even know if I answered that question, but just spoke about jiu-jitsu for a bit, and obviously I got the job.
Aye.
So I know they do wee things like that. To be fair, they try and halfway through the interview, a lot of them will try and put you in the spot a wee bit, and I think that's kind of training for when you go into court, because obviously you're going to have like a lawyer
Aye.
call you a liar and question you and stuff like that. So, aye. So I think it definitely helped me in my application. But if you do it, I would 100% mention it.
Should it be a requirement?
It should be, but it's not going to be. It's coming in slowly, so I won't name names in case they don't want names. But we've got more and more guys in Police Scotland who are doing jiu-jitsu now. Some of them quite high up, like kind of been promoted a few times. So when I go back, it'll be one of the main things that I try and do. And then jiu-jitsu to the police.
And do you think your career would have looked any different if you didn't do any training to how it did?
Definitely, aye. Because like,
Not way.
I think just like I got not a rep, but I'm not a big man, but like I got a bit of a rep in the police just because like, of a couple of incidents that happened.
From wording it carefully, man. Just
Yeah, just a couple of incidents that happened. Like got folk talking about me, and it was almost like I was known as like a reliable guy that you could maybe send to calls, and I got promoted to detective like pretty quickly. I'd only been in the police 3.5 years, 4 years. That's quite quick to go to detective. So like, I think I was kind of reasonably well known just for like working hard, but also for a few things that had happened, like where I'd defended myself.
can we get a story out, you know?
Canny salamis on the street.
Now I've got one more police related question, and it's actually, I wrote a question down in Phil for the gym master, same thing, so I'm going to give that.
Really?
No, Big Phil.
Big fun.
Who's police for?
You feel really? Who's the wee guy? Yeah, shaved head. Bald head. Nice guy. There's no Phil. You've got to know Phil.
I feel really bad. 'Cause what happens if I do know?
I think he's
him?
mainly a gay
gonna-
guy, to be fair. So you would avoid him because he batters you.
Maybe it is wee Phil. What's his last name?
Riley? Kind of short.
It's not. It's
Get his profile.
I'm thinking Marines Phil.
Huh?
Marines Phil.
I knew that.
Oh,
I thought it
Captain
was
Delicious Pants.
That's the one. That's the one.
My good friend.
Aye. He asked the same question, so I'll get that after what did I just ask him?
Yeah, that's a story.
Aye, a story. That's what it was. And I've got one more please for the question and Ross
story
will
of
get
you
back
hitting
in.
a
What do you-
flying
you don't-
carousel.
Can of salami off somebody's head. I don't know. It's a PG one.
We'll come back to it.
No, so one time outside wait,
Don't
so,
mind, this will probably be clipped, right? So just be careful.
Alright, okay. Aye. No pressure. One time outside the night, so we would sit outside the night, if you've been to a nightclub and you've come out at like 3-4 in the morning, there's usually a few cops hanging about in case you kick off. So I was one of the cops that night. And there was loads of chat out that this guy was in Paisley. He was like some warrant. This guy really needed the jail. And there was like intel he was in Paisley or whatever. So looking after the folk at the nightclub, but also hoping that you see him because it's a good fish to get. Do you know what I mean? And someone else spotted him, but they're a wee bit older, and they were like, "You get him," because I think he. I'm gonna remember this wrong, but I think he just cracked somebody and then ran away. And I was like the nearest person under 30, so I was like, they were like, "You get him." So I chased him, and he was a big guy. And he was running, and he was kind of doing like this in his pocket as he was running. I kind of thought like maybe he's did drugs or something. I don't know. I didn't really think anything of it. But he had like a knuckle duster belt, and he was basically trying to get the belt out so he could put a knuckle duster in. And I was catching up with him, and just as I caught up with him, he turned round. But I was running too fast to stop. Like, you know that way you're kind of falling forward. So I was like, I've committed, so I'm going for it. I hit like one of the worst double legs I've ever hit in my life, but because it was a running blast double, it's amazing. The guy absolutely flew, and I got him doing this. He'd have to pavement, unfortunately. And, got to jail, and it turns out it was that guy. So everyone was buzzing with that. So that's like just I don't know, double like the guy with a knuckle duster.
Did you shout too?
How does
A guy in a suit turned up behind me.
and how close? Like how does sport jiu-jitsu compare to self-defense?
I see it. See this. You've got to do self-defense jiu-jitsu to be good at fighting. It's a lot of nonsense, man. Like I'm a guard player, but I'm obviously not going to pull guard in the street. And if I do end up Mars, then amazing because I've trained for it. You know what I mean? See guys that like go in and they do jiu-jitsu and it's blocking punches. Like it's fine if you're doing MMA, but I don't know. A sport jiu-jitsu purple belt will absolutely destroy any guy doing Japanese jiu-jitsu or self-defense jiu-jitsu.
Japanese jiu-jitsu.
Aye, just nonsense like that. Tai Chi,
JJJ.
all the usual.
Tai Chi? Tai Chi's not even fighting, man.
But it's Tai Chi.
That's
Like clean the windows and that.
It's the wax on, Is that not wax Ike? off.
Aye, they
What's
do that and then they
Aikido's-
chop you.
No,
and you go to sleep.
Tai Chi's like
Is that not Austin Powers?
They
No.
go chop, and
Tai
you go to
Chi's
sleep.
like that pure flowy yoga type stuff.
Well, I'll tell you now, Taylor, a purple belt would ruin them. And it's probably because they don't fight. Not just day sport jiu-jitsu. Like obviously, like stuff like closing the distance, no staying in that red zone where you can get punched in the face. Like that's all really important stuff that if you're planning doing self-defense, and you should do. But see if you had like a purple belt, brown belt, you'll be absolutely fine.
I would say just don't get in a fight. That's
I also
probably
don't
a
get-
That's the best way to defend
fucking
yourself,
good
innit?
idea.
Aye.
Just-
Also, if I'm
just
on
don't get in a
duty
fight.
and I ask somebody to leave the pub and they say, I'm not leaving the pub, fight me, I'm kind of limited.
I'd probably leave the pub. That's what I would do.
Do you not have
That's a good man. I appreciate that.
Aye, no, it's
it's a weird one.
that man.
Can I get a wee bit? I feel shite, man, because we wrote this down for Jack, man. So we've got the post, and then I want to hear a wee bit about the travelling and all.
Ross makes batteries. Ask me about that.
Magnets, man.
No, it's
I
magnets.
Content.
Can you explain his magnets, right?
I guess
No, really, no.
Can anyone explain magnets?
No, that's what I wrote my thesis on. It's like
Why we can't explain magnets?
I pretty much opened it like once again. A man has tried and failed to explain magnetism, and I am one of those people. So Yeah, that's
Nobody,
Did you pass
nobody
that?
knows
Did you
how
pass
they
it?
I've not finished it yet.
Fuck off.
I should have
That's
finished.
where you started writing that when I first met you, and that was like a year ago.
It does take like 3 and a
It's a
half years. It's not that simple.
It's what it is, mate. I know.
I am a published author, but I have not
This is probably
received
the
my
low,
doctorate yet.
Med,
He's a
mate.
published author.
this is the lowest point in this podcast. I'm at magnets, guys. I'm just going to be honest, man.
He does batteries as well. So
I make batteries.
I'm not
now.
going there.
Mate,
man.
batteries.
That's what my job is. Yeah,
That's fucking class.
That's
man.
good, isn't it?
it's
The
good.
batteries, no, they can touch. I'm talking shite. That's magnets.
Magnets also can touch. What the fuck?
No, but I just know when you put two batteries together and they fucking. Like,
Ross is meant to be an
That's not
expert, and he
true.
thinks
That's not
magnets
true.
can touch. They can't touch, Ross.
That's kind of
What's he
funny.
been drinking? What's your battery, Perrin?
I can't say, actually I was about to say, no, I can't say it. I'll get in trouble.
What was the question?
One of the projects
What's
is
the battery powering?
the
You
one
can't
that
say,
we're
stop
the one we're
saying.
just
Don't know what that means.
the one we're-
What's the
one we're-
battery powering?
the one we're
Aye,
making right
batteries
now
power
is
stuff.
supplying
Oh,
power
all
to,
right.
like,
Sorry.
it's
Okay.
supplying power to the Edinburgh Innovation Centre. I think. I hope no one will work. Nah, no one will work will watch this. They don't even listen
You
to me
don't
talk about
know.
jiu-jitsu
Get
anyway,
it
so it's
clipped.
alright.
Get it clipped,
They don't-
tag batteries.
I tell them like they're like, oh, how did you get on a composite? I won. It's like cool. And that's it.
That's what you want, but
quite boring,
that's a
man.
good work. That's a good
That's
work,
fine.
work sport balance, man. But no one gives a fuck.
Big cash, but
Big cash.
Do you get the what is it? Is
Do
it
you get
karate
free
you doing
batteries
all
and
that?
stuff? Do you like double A's and that?
I've had people
you
say
can
like,
make them, mate. Just makes them.
I like them at work all day. Be like, yes,
You ever licked a battery?
yeah, all the time. That's what I do. That is what I do at work.
Actually?
Just sitting like batteries. Be like, yep, that's got charge.
Can you actually lick a
No,
battery?
you've got to test
Yes.
because
Seriously, that's how you test batteries, you lick them?
No.
you've got to test
Jesus,
because like if Ross
But
licks
see, like
it-
a 12 volt, because the two contacts at the
Aye.
same page, you can't lick it and you go, oh, that's
see
stinky.
if you
You
like a,
lick batteries. Neighbour, your head's fucked.
see if you like a
Continue.
battery and touch a lamp, it goes in. Doesn't it? Ross told me that. No, Ross has to lick them because if he releases them and they don't know what happens when folk lick them, then they can get sued. So that's Ross's job.
I'm just quality control.
He licks them.
Every one in 100 batteries, I lick them and then put them back.
Oh my god, man! What a turn this is to
Yeah,
it.
this is fucking brilliant.
Better than licking Wendy's.
You know, it's a bit fucking
It's
lick,
not.
lick too many batteries.
It's actually not.
I don't know.
I'd rather lick a window.
At least like Wendy's Universal in it. I ain't like
I know, at
batteries.
least someone washes
acquired
them.
You
taste.
can
No?
shoot these lightning bolts at your fingers.
I remember I used to stick batteries in my mouth now that we're fucking talking about it.
I thought he was going to say ours. I thought he was going to say ours.
Other things, no batteries, but no, we're gonna move on because one of the main things we actually wanted to talk about is obviously you left sunny Scotland and you travelled to I don't know, other side of the world, is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm good at geography.
I got the globe out and I was like, what's the furthest point away from Ross right now?
Aye. Because in fairness, Ross was asking a million and one questions at that point. It was
So many
it was
questions.
infuriating for
So many
everybody.
questions.
He made an hour class turn into an hour and a half just from questions alone, which I mean, it's
I don't get paid for that.
aye. You can respect the grind, but it's too much. How
Everyone has improved probably because of that. So
Because I left.
that too.
how would you kind of compare the jiu-jitsu scene in Scotland, right, compared to the jiu-jitsu scene in Asia? Obviously, a lot more people in Asia.
What are you 10?
Fuck off, man. Obviously, there's a lot more people. There's a lot more people in Asia. But how would you compare maybe the average experience that you had, maybe day to day or week to week, in comparison to here?
I'm also like a little bit biased, but see, the level of Marcus's gym is one of the highest I've seen. Like London Grapple, Drake or Drag, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. He's cramping.
I'm so sorry.
They're two like super high level, but like apart from that, there's nowhere. I've never really went to a gym and went, oh, this is like I'm like miles ahead of Marcus's.
Mhm.
So I think the level in Scotland's definitely improving. Thailand, it was good. Mostly kind of more no-gi focus in Phuket, where they're kind of MMA daft. And it's a bit more kind of traditional gis on. A lot of bowing in Bangkok.
A lot of bowing, aye.
A lot of bowing. And that was just the ladyboys.
No, that was coming at some point, man.
Yeah, I did that at least once or twice.
Aye, really good. Like there was nowhere I went that I was like, oh, this is horrible. Everyone's just really good.
What was the plan when you went away? Was it just kind of go and wing it, or did you have something?
The initial plan was to go there 3 years ago, and maybe even like back then it was like maybe do like teach like English or whatever, do the whole kind of backpacker thing, and then that never happened because of COVID. So it was just like we just knew we wanted to go. We didn't really have a plan because we kind of fucked the plan up so badly the year before. Ended up in Kenya. Do you know what I mean?
Kenya's cool, man.
It's
Kenya's
nice,
cool,
but
man.
just like one you're in Serbia and one day you wake up and you're in Kenya. It's like, why did I do that? You know what I mean, like, I don't know, I don't know why I went. It was good though. I really enjoyed myself. Aye.
Something we spoke to Fraser about, I don't know if this was anything you'd even have noticed, to be honest, but it was like the mentality in Scotland. Basically, to sum up, it said it's kind of shite, didn't we?
Aye.
Did you notice any difference when you were there at all?
Scotland.
Mentality.
Yeah, like
Aye.
mentality as far as like towards training and each other and stuff. Like Fraser almost felt that I guess people take things a bit too serious in Scotland. Just kind of almost like
Success scout as well, a wee bit.
aye, and like
Success Scout's a huge thing for Scotland, I think.
yeah. Just I just felt like, and then obviously like what I felt there was just like Scotland's very like a self-deprecating.
batteries.
Aye, like it's a very self-deprecating like place. Like fucking people hate watching other people be successful.
See, like the Americans I met in Thailand, and I'm not putting them down, it's just about they are, and it's not a bad thing, but if they did something good, you fucking knew about it. They're very happy to come in and say, I did this and I'm so proud of myself. It's like a good thing, I suppose, but like I do feel like you're scared to do that in Scotland.
I feel like in Scotland, if you do, it's like, oh, fuck up, did you aye?
It's like a country where like
It's like, did you aye? And you're like, yes. And then you just need to fucking put up when it's all,
It's
look
like-
at me, I fucking done this.
if I
You
walk
just
home with
piss
a
up, don't
hat
you?
on tonight, someone's going to shout hat at me with a car. Do you know what I mean? It's the country you can't hat, you cunt. Do you know what I mean? It's just that kind of country. But Americans are like, they're so different for us. They're quite happy to kind of toot their own horn, which again, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's just, we could probably be doing a bit more collectively.
Aye.
But we just slag each other rotten.
No, it's true. How do you feel they were in, obviously the locals then? How did you find they were? Do you feel they were a bit more, maybe, I don't know, uplifting in comparison? Do you think they
Oh,
were
they're so nice.
more
They're so
more
nice.
supportive and less up themselves and more kind of building as a team in comparison to kind of individuals?
Especially like, I coached at Arete in Bangkok for 8 months maybe. And just the community there was amazing. Just like all really supportive of each other. No, like there wasn't like any full-time athletes or anything. They all had jobs, and it was a bit more kind of in an upmarket part of town. So they were all doing it for fun, and it's a really nice place to be. Like everyone smiled at you when you went in.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas I walk into BJJ and Garsh, it's all fuck off. Do you know what I mean?
but it's true, but
I love it, but it's
our
just
fucking
it's so
Ross
different.
comes in, he's got his heat down, he's like, don't fucking look at me. You know, it's like
It's not my fault.
there is a but do you think that in saying that, obviously that's not even like the atmosphere of Marcos is, obviously that's just the banter we have all together.
It's good though.
Do you find that maybe going obviously completely new place, did you find that sometimes it was hard to did you miss the banter?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you miss going in and maybe you want to say something or make a crack a wee joke and you're like fucking it, kind of walking eggshells
There was a guy there called Mac, who was the guy who kind of got me the job and helped me out a wee bit in Bangkok, but he's half Scottish,
Uh-huh.
so I could do it with him. But like, if you slag someone as a joke and they can barely understand you, they're going to take it personally. So I didn't really get away with like saying the stuff that I would say to you guys.
Aye.
I mean, but like there was that guy there who's like half Scottish, half Japanese. So he got everything.
Oh.
It's just been horrible to him.
No, it's fair. Like obviously looking at a lot of the stuff you did while you were over there, like you met some fucking mad people and you had some mad experiences while you were there. Is there any? Obviously, there's going to be a lot, but what are your like maybe top 3 highlights of being there? If you had to, obviously you're there for a long time, 7-8 months. You said if you had to. 3 main highlights that were like, fuck, I can't believe this has happened while I've been here.
I mean, the number one thing, a pure boring answer for the first one, but the main thing was just being able to train every day, and it was just sunny every day, and everyone was really nice to me.
So just good environment to be
Just
in.
good environment.
No, that's good. That's
Wake
just a
up,
highlight.
The it's already 30 degrees at 6 a.m. We had like a little pool in the apartment and stuff, and like you could just chill out. My only job was to teach jiu-jitsu.
And take steroids.
Which did take steroids, Asian steroids. So that's like 3-4 hours out your day, and then the rest is easy. It's also like, see, in general in Thailand, it's kind of it's almost cheaper to just eat at restaurants every day as opposed to
Really?
like going and cooking your own food. So like just went everywhere, eating different food every day. Just a really good quality of life. Like, if anyone ever was thinking about going, I would definitely go. I know Retty as well. Just give them a quick plug. They are looking for a no-gi coach. So if there's any purple belts and up who have 3 or 4 months to spare, get in touch. I'll try and get you a job for a few months because they're really looking for someone just now. So I could maybe help you out if you're looking for a 3-month holiday. Other experiences, I politely declined a hand job from a masseuse. That's a highlight. I was getting a massage and she was like, you what?
Is this a real story?
Yeah. She's like, you want? I'm like, oh no, thank you. I was like, oh, married. I've not got my ring on just now, but I'm married. But I really wish she hadn't done that halfway through the massage because the rest was quite passive aggressive. Like, it was a really good massage. She offered me I said, oh no, thank you, married. I still had half an hour left, so the rest of the massage was just stupid, man.
The fact, you know what, by the way, the fact that is, you've said that before fucking 1FCs after it's not. The fact.
Oh, I want to see. I'm talking about.
The fact you've brought that up over 1FC.
I got to coach ringside at 1FC. It was amazing.
You got to meet the owner as well, didn't you? You got to train with him.
I trained him.
I don't know how to say his name, so
really
that's why
nice
I'm not
guy.
saying it.
Chitri. No, I'm not going to.
We'll just say his first name.
It's a Thai surname, but really, really nice guy. And he came with Leo Vieira as well. I was too nervous to ask Leo for a role.
I don't even know who that is.
He's like an old legend. He was him and Marcelo back in the day were the
boys.
Aye. Yeah.
So, like, obviously you've coached in local Scottish comps. Obviously you coached, you cornered my first match.
Pilgard.
Obviously you cornered my first match and it was probably the most exciting match you've ever seen.
That was the big throw.
That was
I still watched the clip of you covering your face, man.
The standing fireman.
It was Marcus, me and Aidan, and we did the 3 monkeys.
Aye.
We all did that.
But how does it feel? Like how does cornering a fucking local comp, right, white belt, compared to, you know, a big show / event like 1FC?
I didn't, like, to be honest, like I was helping out a guy called Wally who's like a combat sambo or just sambo world champion. Really high level. He's been helping me out with like my foot sweeps and stuff, like really, really high level, really good guy. And to be honest, his English wasn't great. And his coach was there who's obviously known him for years and years, so I was very much secondary role, to be honest. But it was just a cool experience. It was cool to be there. He lost to Tommy Langaka, which losing to Tommy isn't. You'd be okay with it, to be honest. But like, Wally's big thing was he's coming across from sambo. Sambo guys don't do heel hooks.
Yeah.
So I tried to help him out a wee bit with that, but I only had maybe a couple of months to work with him. And to be honest, I was learning from him probably just as much, if not more, than I was showing him. So he ended up getting heel hooked. It's a shame, like they keep putting him into these matches against, was it Ty or Cade Ruotolo he fought?
Oh really?
He got Cade or Ty?
He fought Cade, I can't remember, I think it was Ty. But the Ruotolo, whoever he fought, heel hooked him as well. So it's like, if these guys would like stand with him, I think it would be a really fun event to watch. But they're not daft, they do their homework and they know this guy doesn't do heel hooks. So that's something that I think if he's going to want to do submission grappling, he's going to have to obviously work on that. Yeah,
I guess it is, isn't it? It's almost like it's the wrestler, the sambo, the judo's kryptonite in it, getting fucking leg locked. Like,
it's just because it's not because they're special or anything. It's just we're more advanced in that department than them.
No, it makes complete sense. But what's the one thing, like, obviously someone that's dominant stand up, you know, they're not going to know how to defend their legs from being ripped off. They're used to people shooting on their legs and sprawling and obviously defending takedowns, but they're not used to fucking sitting on their arse and getting thrown into fucking saddle and kind of salami.
It's a heavy DQ the moment you sit down in most spots.
Do you know what I mean? So it's just that way of, like, obviously to go from being standing up where sitting down or being on your back's a really bad thing to fucking getting caught in like all these mad leg entanglements and all that stuff. It can obviously be
makes total sense. If I'm competing against someone in 2 seconds before I go on, my coach says, by the way, this guy's never done an armbar before. Armbar, easy. Do you know what I mean?
Right, we've only 10 minutes left. Move on to.
Can I blow my nose first?
Of course you can.
Fuck, man, this guy.
clip it.
Absolutely fucking disgusting.
Right, 5 questions that are kind of relevant to what this is all about.
Quick fire.
I'm
Quick
going to
fire.
assume you're familiar with this.
And I've got 5 that are. If you please tell me you've watched this.
What? I'm just
Have you
saying.
watched this before?
You're fucking kidding me.
It's very long form. I watch the clips.
Just
the
go to
clips
the end.
I like all the posts.
Right, that's fine then. At least
I show my support.
help
Right,
me
okay, so
algorithm.
basically, at the end, right, we'll ask just 5 random questions about what we've been talking about, jiu-jitsu, grappling, MMA, whatever, and then we'll ask 5 just
Random.
nothing to do with what we're
Funny
talking
things.
about. And
Right.
one question that we're going to ask every guest is for a controversial opinion. So I'll give you time to think about it. Then we'll get to it. I'll lose my job. Right, here I go. First one up
That's if I
here.
can even see. Obviously, easy. Probably an easy one for both of you. Do you have a main goal / achievement that you want to achieve in grappling?
Me go first. The only thing I can think of right now is Euros. Like this coming Euros, try and get gold at that. But otherwise, I just want to get good, I think. That's about
Fair
it.
enough.
Yeah.
No, fair.
Nice and simple, I like it.
I'm 30 now, so like I've kind of tapered my competition expectations. I'd love to be like do as many grapple fests and Polaris and stuff like that as I can. Probably have like another bash at like IBJJF comps, maybe like Euros or something.
You should copycat.
You gonna hit up trials?
Yeah, fuck it. Let's do
The
it.
second one. Give yourself
I'm
some
just
time,
trying. I'm
obviously.
trying to decide what weight to do. Like 88 European
You're too
isn't
small, man.
Isn't that? I know. I
You're
got
too
squashed last time. It was shite, but it's not that stacked when you look at 77. 77 is just so stacked.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at 88,
and I'm in creatine now, so 77 is a tough ass.
you have me, so you're pretty much fucked at that point. So
But
I would
like,
just,
I think Owen O'Flanagan will get invited.
yeah.
So who you got left?
Owen.
You got fourth, so you'll have to.
Yeah, he's gonna have to.
Yeah. That's another guy that won.
Bradley
Euros.
Hill would. I couldn't. I'm sure.
Is he? Yeah.
Owen lives if.
No, I don't think he'll cut. I don't
No.
think he'll cut.
Yeah, I think he'll stay. I think he will. He planned on cutting, but did he not? I'm sure he had like stomach issues that stopped
offer
him
him
from.
cash money.
I mean, just bite his ankles, man, and see what happens. That's what you can really do.
I know. You can't stand up against Owen. He's too good.
Yes, you can.
Let's go, Taylor.
For at least 30 seconds, and then you fucking.
But anyway, so yeah, I'll have a go at trials, but I've kind of like, I've tapered my expectations. I don't see myself ever winning ADCC. I don't think it's ridiculous to say I'm not going to win that. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I think long-term goals would just be probably open up my own gym one day and maybe coach someone else who could do
So
the
give
things
back
that I
then.
wish I could have done. You know?
No, that's
It's like
true.
a
Innit?
goal.
I feel like if you're at the point where you're understanding of how far you can actually go, it's like if you're able to be a part of someone's journey to being the top.
Mate, I'm looking at like, see, wee Andrew's going to be 18 in 4 years, and he's going to be so much better than me.
Yeah.
Once he puts some size on, he's going to absolutely destroy me. So
Aye.
it's about the Masters division is calling in a few years. You know? I'll see you, Cogsy.
We've only got 5 minutes left, so we'll just patch it in now. Got the fun ones, right? Controversial opinion first or last?
Last.
Last, right? Okay.
Still haven't thought of it.
If you could have a conversation with one person in history, who would it be? Normally we do 5 related to what I've spoke about, obviously, but we're kind of running out of time. We've got 5 minutes left.
Wait, have you thought of one?
Ross's mum.
Terrible. Maybe Eddie Cummings or like,
I was about to say that.
Eddie Cummings-
Eddie
it'd be
Cummings.
cool to live
He would be a jiu-jitsu guy. You can
or
just
like,
message Eddie. He'll message back.
or like maybe like, I don't know.
You
Chris
cash
Reimer.
app him, man.
He's like in one of my favorite bands, so maybe like him.
Who?
It'd be interesting. Chris Reimer. He played guitar. That's cool.
So, what? Chris what?
Reimer.
Oh, I think you said Roydman there. I was like,
No,
I was like,
he was in WWE.
aye.
No, I quite like my Vikings and stuff. I like listening to like Viking history podcasts and stuff. Maybe like Ragnar Lothbrok to see. He's like, I'm not even sure if he was real. I think he was real, but it's like half kind of a lot of it's bigged up and mythical. So I'd want to talk to him and find out what actually happened.
I should have spoken to Jesus. That's what I could have put.
Jesus,
Fuck, that's a good point.
What about you?
It's not like a battery guy that you would quite enjoy speaking to.
Don't shoot yourself, buddy.
Buddy, that's a fucking belter. Oh,
The guy who invented magnets. You could ask him how they work.
did
That
someone?
was God.
Did anyone invent magnets? No, or did
God.
they-
Invented magnets.
God.
nature.
God didn't invent
God.
magnets,
Yes, he
mate. They're
did.
made out of metal. It's okay.
I cannot believe you fucking try to get a PhD in magnets, man, and fucking nobody knows how they work.
That's all he's written so far. They
Can you
were made by
imagine that?
God.
What, being a part of something with no fucking idea?
120 pages of I don't know what's going on.
Seriously, you could literally. I know it's like that fucking Bart Simpson.
Nobody's
isn't it?
reading that.
Nah, no one.
Someone has to, unfortunately.
I'll just.
I have to.
Yeah, no. Aye, Ragnar.
Right.
Fucking aye. Ragnar. I want to speak to Ragnar.
You want to speak to him?
It's a good answer. Getting a guitarist anyway.
Sorry.
Good answer.
Aye.
What's the greatest movie of all time?
Lord of the Rings trilogy. Got to be class movies, man.
Don't know. I watched The Wailing this week. That was really good. That's the only thing I can think of. That was pretty good.
The what?
The Wailing.
Fuck's that?
It's a mad South Korean film. It's really, really good.
Lord of the Rings, mate.
I will go with Lord of the Rings.
Extended edition.
Oh, wait. No. I would say... I've forgotten the name of it.
Oh my
Doesn't matter.
fuck.
That's how good it is. man.
That is good.
Stalker. That's it. Stalker. The Russian film. That's really, really good.
What the fuck, man? Korean, fucking
Yeah, I know.
Russian, mate. Have you seen Parasite?
Yeah, that's good.
That's good. Right, cool.
That's also Korean, isn't it?
Yeah, but I was
So
just.
then what?
I know. Doesn't.
Getting chinned for nothing?
It's all good, man. Jump on to the next one.
I'm just doing it. Aye.
Yeah.
Right. Do you have a bucket list? And if so, what's at the top? And if not, just give me something you want to do.
Retire Jack Brown.
Jack Brown.
Oh, you'll be
I'm
waiting.
going to double leg Taylor. Score 2 on Taylor.
Fuck off. Never happening.
I'll score 2 in Taylor.
You need to stand up first. Do you know my
I'm
first...
telling you, September, that's when I start wrestling.
My first,
I've told
my
everyone
first
this.
ever session, I hit Jack with a duck under, right? And he hit Jack with a duck under. He got me in saddle, and I tried to break his shin just from sheer pulling force. Do you remember that? And you looked at me and you went, "That's doing fuck all. It's going to hurt. You're not breaking anything,
the
mate."
size of my leg.
No, but it's like you hit me with a heel hook. You're like, "Mate, that hurts. You're not breaking anything."
No, the way to get 2 in you is to you'll take me down and then I'll try and like sweep you as I go, and I'm counting that as a takedown. When I get my 2.
That is 2. Yeah, I would say that's 2.
I'm counting that as 2.
fucking-
I've done that. I've done that a couple of
Taylor get
things.
the advantage? I'm not sure.
Like get taken down, maybe go like octopus guard or something, or butterfly.
Oh, I love an octopus guard. Fucking is it king of the octopus guard?
Class.
Me?
Me?
Oh, yeah,
No,
right.
me. I
I was
wouldn't.
going to say, I fucking
You
can't
did,
get into
you
it, man.
did.
I'm fucking the goat, mate.
Is that the competition you done? Restart it.
Aye.
That was hard. Like.
Fucking dominated everybody, man. Chris get absolutely fucking bodied. Get absolutely done.
That was a terrible bucket list.
I forgot my course style. I went to open up my own gym and
Usually I
Jiu-jitsu
just,
for
I just
11.
do things.
Give back.
dude, I give back to the community. That's what I'm all about.
My guy, man. This Donny
Fucking
here.
I already
Selfless.
Gandhi, shut up.
Is the world a good or a bad place? That's the last one, but I quite liked it. to be honest.
It's neutral, I think.
Natural.
It's bad.
Any idea? No.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm an idiot. What do I know? I would
Fucking likes batteries for a living. That's me in the deep
Exactly.
questions.
So
Well, let's go with how has the world treated you from obviously, I guess the moment you could realise it. Obviously, as a kid, you don't fucking realise it.
I was allergic to milk as a child, and I'm allergic to peanuts. The world has treated me terribly. So
How did you survive?
I don't know.
You nearly fucking died in the car with me one time.
You need milk.
I know. I actually did almost die. That was a terrible
Ross
day.
nearly died in the car with me. And he
No, it wasn't. I was
you get a
okay-ish in
certain
the
kind of milk,
car.
I think.
It was when I got home. That's when I was like
that's why it's
hospitalised.
not right.
I'm sitting there.
You need the
with-
baby when you're wee.
I'm sitting there. With
You
fucking,
did get it.
what was that
As long as
pen I
you
was
get it
sitting
at some
with?
point,
That's
it
why
doesn't
he's
matter.
the way he is, because he never got the baby when he was wee.
No.
He was allergic to
Fucking hell, man.
I don't know. That's a good place. Sometimes it's alright. I've always been alright. Nothing really bad's happened.
No.
No, I'm alright. I've still got both my knees after grappling for 10 years.
That's quite.
Nah.
That's
Quite good.
Fuck
I've
yours,
been-
but
Aye.
They're
Been-
cool though.
Somebody scratched my face. My beautiful face. I've been unemployed for 3 years. It's been great. I think life's alright.
yeah, life could be no
A
bad.
bit skint now, but
Aye.
The last one, just before we finish up, controversial opinion.
I think Ross is okay at jiu-jitsu. I know what everyone says, but
What does everyone
controversial,
say?
but I think he's okay. I think you do alright.
Does everyone say I'm shite?
It's not no follow-up questions, please.
I can't think of anything. I don't really have any.
Yeah, you do.
How?
Come on, you must. An opinionated guy like yourself, you definitely.
I get very angry about things that don't mean anything, so I would say I don't have any controversial opinions.
Shut up about the gi.
Oh, right.
Shut
Don't
up
get me
ab-
started.
oh, mate, shut up about the gi.
I will say this. Fucking collar chokes don't help in the street and they don't catch bullets. Right? So fucking
No, but
pack
it's
that
like,
pish in.
every time, like, whenever I post, I've put the gi on, which I do reasonably frequently, right? Like, oh, Jack in the gi, the apocalypse has come. It's like, mate, I've trained in the gi
That's what you
100 more times than you have in the past year.
Well, that's the
You
thing.
put a gi on.
You were in the gi until what? Your purple belt.
I've never stopped putting the gi on. I just mostly no gi.
I don't-
Aye.
I always get such a hard time.
I don't get why you get it. Because
Like,
I really don't do the
You
gi.
actually
I
don't.
really don't do the gi. Like,
It's like it even happened in Lycans. But like guys like that were like demanding me a gi. So boys that run Lycans like, not a problem. I'll put more gi classes on. Put more gi classes on. Nobody turned up. They just like to moan. They don't actually want to come in and do the gi. What they actually want to do is like come in, no train, get revered as really good when they're not good because they don't train. Then I don't know, get promoted even though they've not trained as well. They want their belts. It's like, I've not seen you in a year. Why would I
Aye.
promote you?
Going to piss some people off that, innit?
Do you think?
Aye,
do you think
why does that
Aye.
piss you
He
off?
didn't
though?
know,
Like,
mate.
No, but
why
you-
would that piss someone
Do
off?
not
Fucking
leave for a
train.
year and then come
Aye.
back and
Train.
start demanding
Like
belts.
you were
so
saying
easy.
there though, Jack. Like, do you think that that's a main reason? I guess the main selling point for the gi then is the belt,
belts.
is the belts, is the promotion, is the fact that you'll see a
It's
belt
like a
and
kind
like
of sad fact of life, but like, see if you get rid of belts tomorrow, a lot of folk would leave jiu-jitsu. I think they need that. It's kind of weird that they need that, but they need that validation of here's a new colour.
Aye.
You put that in your waist if you
Aye, because I know that when me and Ross were like talking about it, we were like, we want to go from fucking white to blue belt with no stripes. We don't want the.
It never happened.
Do you know what I mean? But we don't want
Can I?
we don't want the breadcrumbs. Like me and obviously Ross both understood
see
that
the
like
white
we
to blue
want.
belt thing. I do understand that because you look at yourself with a white belt and you think, oh, this is the same belt that like somebody's granny has that's
Aye.
never done jiu-jitsu, you know.
So when you buy in it,
anyone can.
no,
have it.
anyone
I
can be a
could-
white belt and
yeah,
you
I
buy
could-
it.
I
It's
could
like
walk somebody off the street and we'll hand them the same belt that you've got, even though you've been grappling
You
for a long time.
see when folk do that stupid like, oh, what's the hardest belt to earn? And like, oh, it's a white belt because you started like, fuck up.
No, you just walked in, mate.
I don't
That was
shut up.
easy.
You
That's
came in the
easy.
door.
That's really easy.
I was on it.
Like, be quiet.
I'm happy to hand out belts to anyone that deserves it, but like, come in and train. You don't have to win competitions. You don't have to even be the most knowledgeable guy in the room, but you have to be consistent. And like, it just annoys me that they don't train for months. They hear it, they sniff a grading day from a mile away, then they come like
Belt on.
waving their belt at you like that. And I'm like, I'm not giving you anything.
Put that time.
I've not seen you for months, and then they get pissed off, and then they end up going to different gyms or starting their own gym.
aye.
You know what I mean? So that's my controversial
That makes
opinion. They do my nothing.
So that's your final thoughts on it then? Basically fuck the gi.
No, I said,
that's what I said.
That's what I don't.
I don't think
That's what I go for. No, you're not even going to. We're not even.
No, I don't. I,
No,
told,
get
I already
Don't
said
give him a chance. Go.
You've not got a chance to answer. But anyway,
not fuck the
Right.
gi. I like the gi.
we
I
really
just
appreciate
don't have time
you.
to do it.
Really appreciate you coming on. Obviously, this episode was intended solely for Jack, but
And you ruined it.
You asked me-
sometimes
you asked me,
you
and I was
know,
like, okay.
Jack had to bring his servant, which is okay
I'm Jack's caterer.
because he has
Shouts me a bit.
added to
I just hang my head out the
he
window.
has added to the episode, you know, and obviously it was a little bit tough trying to get this sorted, but fucking me and Adam are really happy we managed to get it. And obviously,
Sorry, I've
like I said,
been homeless.
it's all good. It's all good. But no, we're just grateful for both of you coming on, and hopefully the fucking future's brighter for us. Okay.
Wait, what? Sorry, what's happened? Like,
My hands are fucking sweating.
hands are sweaty as well.
Cheers, lads.
Peace out.